I mean, he could be the one that individually keeps you at the top of the table fighting for that championship because of how consistent he's been, not only for club but also for country. You pointed out the 9 consecutive games for club and country. That's phenomenal, right? First and foremost, that's really special for any player in world football. It's his personal best record now as well. But to score 16 goals in 9 games, I mean, the guy's just getting better and better.
So Manchester City managed to hold on for that 1-0 victory. They're 5th at the moment, 13 points from their 7 games. Arsenal top of the tree after their victory. Defeat for Liverpool against Chelsea has them in 2nd, 15 points from 7 games. Your initial reaction to the City performance, I mentioned there, they were pretty poor against Monaco, letting them back into the game. I think today was about the result, just grind out a win in any way possible.
Yeah, I think anytime you get an early goal, especially away from home, I think it's important to make sure defensively you're solid, tactically you're set up right, and then all of a sudden injury happens to Rodri, and sometimes you're forced to reshuffle in some way, and that can make the team a little feel uneasy, right? But they've got talent, and Manchester City have patience, and they dominated possession of the ball. I mean, they were making Brentford run around like crazy. Now, first 45 minutes in particular, the amount of passes they string together, it's like doing doggies. You'll know what I mean when I say doggies. You're sprinting back and forth, trying to keep up with the City side. They were absolutely phenomenal with the way they kept possession of the ball. But of course, they're so dangerous. I'm going to just point this out to you. The first half alone, they had 434 accurate passes in the first half. You can do nothing about it but sometimes sit back and admire it, and in many ways Brentford actually sat back and admired it a little bit too much. They weren't aggressive enough, and they allowed Manchester City obviously to get an early goal, but to dominate that first 45-minute period and didn't necessarily create any good chances. City had 4 in the first half. Obviously the second half slightly different, where City didn't have a shot on target. But I think it would, overall, the big picture, I'd have to say, Adam, it was job well done from Pep Guardiola. He was barking on the sidelines at his team. Last 10 minutes of the game, you could hear him more than anyone else in the stadium because he knew the importance of his team not switching off at vital moments. And of course, we mentioned it, that one big save from Donnarumma, the only save he made, that guaranteed 3 points.
And you can see the stats there. 70% of the ball to only score 1 goal is a frustration, but as you said, they got the win. The way they are playing and the way they are winning these games, do you still have them down as a Premier League title contender?
Yes, I do. I just don't think you can rule Manchester City out, especially when you've got a red-hot goal scorer in Erling Haaland. I mean, he could be the one that individually keeps you at the top of the table fighting for that championship because of how consistent he's been, not only for club but also for country. You pointed out the 9 consecutive games for club and country. That's phenomenal, right? First and foremost, that's really special for any player in world football. It's his personal best record now as well. But to score 16 goals in 9 games, I mean, the guy's just getting better and better. I feel like we're seeing a different Manchester City with Erling Haaland leading the way. He's a bit of a leader with a captain's armband when he does have it on his arm. And he's also experiencing maturity, right? He's no longer a young kid now. Erling Haaland's been around for a long period of time. He's 25 years old. He's got responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, to lead his national team to a World Cup. And I think he's got responsibility to keep Manchester City in a title race, to keep Manchester City competing for that Champions League trophy and domestic trophies at that as well. So I think he's handling it incredibly well. But his team wasn't bad today. There was a number of good performers out there, although not at their best, City. There was 2 or 3 really good standout performers. And I'm going to shout out to Guardiola again. It's back-to-back games with an assist for him. The guy sees a run, and especially when it's Erling Haaland, he knows what he's doing with the pass.
Last week on Scoreline, we played a little game, didn't we, comparing the careers at Bayern Munich of Robert Lewandowski and Harry Kane. You had some interesting comments on that one. We're going to play the same game with Manchester City because Sergio Aguero, when you mention his name to the City fans, it's like, you know, bow down to him. And rightly, given the scoring record, he will be known as one of their greatest ever strikers. Will Erling Haaland surpass that at Manchester City? If we fast forward a decade, are we going to be looking back at the best ever City striker?
Listen, I just don't think it's much to argue about. If he stays at Manchester City, and it looks like he's planning on staying at Manchester City for the long period of time, he'll go down as the greatest player ever to play for Manchester City. And they've had some crackers. I mean, we go through the years, how many great players who've actually played for City, and I know they've had difficult periods. But yeah, listen, to me, Erling Haaland's one of the best players in world football right now. He's chasing a Ballon d'Or. He wants to win that title as well. He's chasing golden boots in the Premier League, in the Champions League, for his national team. I think the dream for him would be to take Norway to a major tournament, which he has every possibility of doing now with the way they're sitting at their World Cup qualification group. They've got off to a very good start. I just think Erling Haaland's getting better and better and better. And I'm going to throw this out there. I think Manchester City need Erling Haaland more than Erling Haaland needs Manchester City. That's the point I'm trying to make here. He's too good. He's irresistible. He's going to go down in history already as one of the best to ever play for that team.
You take him out the team this season, I think their top scorer other than him has only got 1 goal.
So let me throw it to you then. If you take Erling Haaland out of this Manchester City team, are they a contender?
I don't think so, the way that they're playing. I mean, you've got so many names that were bright lights at the start of the season. Tijani Reinders is a great example. Came in, so much fanfare. He was brilliant against Wolves, wasn't he, in the opening day? And, I mean, he's not been brilliant since then. I think there are a lot of players in this team who are underperforming. Erling Haaland, and you mentioned Jeremy Doku before we came on air. They're probably the only two that I think have achieved the expectations so far this season. Everyone else has been left wanting.
Defensively, they've got better though. Let's not forget that. Manchester City have only conceded 6 goals this season. What a signing Donnarumma has been for that football club, right? Because the experience you have along that back line now, it composes everyone along the back line into midfield so that what City can do is what they do best. They can attack. They can go forward. I think that Donnarumma has been one of the best signings in the Premier League this off-season and so important for Manchester City. So as much as Erling Haaland is important scoring goals, I think to keep Manchester City in this title race, Donnarumma could be the main man.
And as we know, you can win the Premier League title winning ugly. Chelsea did it under Jose Mourinho. There's plenty of teams who've done that.
Many teams, yeah.
Many teams. Another question, and it was so frustrating to see Rodri coming off, another injury. It looks like it's the other knee. Do you think we'll ever see him at the level that saw him, I mean, I know he got injured before he won it, but that won the Ballon d'Or? Will we see Ballon d'Or Rodri ever again?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I hope so. I mean, he's 29 years old right now. Obviously, when you have a serious injury like he had, and I've been there in my own personal experience, obviously not at that level, the elite level, which he is, obviously one of the best in the world. But what I can tell you from personal experience, after a serious injury comes all these little niggling injuries afterwards, so that will always tear into you. The little muscle pulls, the little strains that you're going to feel, and then it becomes psychological, and then all of a sudden the psychological battles with your performance out there in the field, and you don't have confidence in your own body. I mean, it's really, really disappointing to see him go off the field in this match in particular, and the way that he went off the field as well. It's almost as if he knew immediately, I'm not right, I'm going off. Immediately he made that decision, and that tells me that's someone who mentally has not got any confidence in their body, or someone who already knows that there's something seriously wrong with him once again, or maybe he's even just protecting himself from a serious injury. But I just don't think that you get those types of injuries and be able to come back from them quickly. Maybe City rushed him back because they needed him very quickly. Remember, without Rodri, their record's not been great up until last campaign. They were obviously pushing him back. But I think it's a big loss for world football not having a Rodri out there on the pitch. And if we don't get to see him again, it's been a joy to obviously watch him perform at that highest level. But City need someone in his position to be performing week in, week out, consistently at their best. And Rodri, unfortunately, with injuries, it can sometimes push you out the door.
Yeah, they need him. And when he was playing at that level, I mean, he was an absolute beast. He dictated that midfield, didn't he?
Best in the world.
Hopefully he does get back, fingers crossed, for a smooth recovery for him.